For years, people have argued about the most important sports story of the year. Was it a championship run, a record-breaking performance, a dynasty falling apart, or a superstar changing teams? But in 2025, the answer didn't come from a men's locker room, an NBA Finals stage, or a billion-dollar trade. It came from women's basketball. More specifically, it came from one name that now sits at the center of sports culture, business, media, and money: Caitlin Clark. The phrase, the Caitlin Clark effect, gets thrown around a lot. Some people treat it like hype, others treat it like resentment. But the truth is, it's not a slogan. It's a measurable force, and it's already reshaping how sports operate at the highest levels. This isn't just about points, shooting range, or highlight reels. This is about attention, economics, and cultural gravity. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's moving entire systems. Picture an athlete running a whole sport without even touching the floor, outshining LeBron James in collectibles, pushing billionaires to risk millions, dragging a legendary brand back from the edge of irrelevance, and doing all of it while injured, stuck on the bench, watching instead of playing. 5 years ago, that story would have sounded ridiculous. In 2026, it's real life. To understand how we got here, you have to start with the market, not opinions, not vibes, numbers. In 2025, PSA released its annual report. For people outside the hobby, PSA is the company that grades trading cards. They essentially decide what matters in the collectibles world. When PSA talks, collectors listen and money follows. That 2025 report delivered a shockwave. Caitlin Clark became the most collected active basketball player on the planet. Not women's basketball. Basketball. Period. She didn't edge out the competition. She didn't sneak into the top tier. She cleared the field. She passed LeBron James, the face of basketball for over 2 decades, a 4-time champion, a 4-time MVP, the all-time scoring leader. Clark surpassed every active NBA player alive. Here's the part that makes it even crazier. She did it while not playing, while injured, while logging 0 meaningful minutes, still moving the market, still controlling the conversation, still dominating culture from the bench. That's not normal. That's not a hot streak. That's power. PSA didn't stop there. They released a state-by-state breakdown showing which active athletes were being graded the most. Once you clicked into basketball, the debate was over. It was Clark country, coast to coast, state after state. The map looked like a landslide election. One name covering nearly everything. She also held 3 of the 10 most graded cards across all sports. Not just basketball, football, baseball, hockey, everything mixed together. She was competing with Patrick Mahomes, Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, and still coming out on top. In 2024, Clark ranked 6th among basketball players. Respectable, solid. Then, in 2025, she jumped straight to number 1 while missing most of the season. That kind of leap without playing is almost unheard of. Ryan Hogg, the president of PSA, said it plainly. This level of momentum is only seen with the most elite athletes. At that point, it's no longer about the sport. It's about cultural impact.
That's when something changes. When your value is no longer tied to whether you're actively competing. Your name alone moves attention. Your image alone moves money. You enter a rare space that very few athletes in history ever reach. And that's exactly why some of the most powerful people in the world started making moves behind the scenes. Enter Nike. By early 2025, Nike was in trouble. Real trouble. The stock had dropped nearly 60% since 2021. That's not a dip. That's a collapse. Analysts were openly questioning whether the brand had lost its edge. Newer companies like On Running and Hoka were eating into Nike's territory. The swoosh, once a symbol of dominance, started to feel outdated. Investors were nervous. Employees were uneasy. The industry was watching to see if the giant could recover. And right in the middle of that uncertainty was the Caitlin Clark signature shoe situation. Demand was obvious. Fans were loud. The opportunity was sitting there, and Nike waited. Instead, Aja Wilson received a signature shoe first. Now, Aja absolutely deserves respect. She's dominant. She's accomplished. But from a market standpoint, people ask the obvious question. Why wasn't Caitlin Clark, the biggest draw in women's sports, the priority? No matter the reason, the optics were bad. It reinforced the idea that Nike was moving slow, that they'd lost their feel for the moment, that they were reacting instead of leading. Confidence in the brand kept slipping, until something shifted quietly. On December 22, 2025, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, bought 50,000 shares of Nike stock. Let that sink in. Tim Cook doesn't need risky bets. When someone with that level of access, data, and advisory power puts millions of personal money into a struggling brand, it's a signal. And he wasn't alone. Nike's own CEO, Elliott Hill, purchased roughly $1 million worth of stock himself.
That's not hope. That's conviction. CEOs don't buy stock if they think collapse is coming. They sell quietly. Hill did the opposite. And soon, the numbers started backing it up. Nike's North American business climbed 9%, reaching roughly $63 billion in a single quarter. After years of decline, the rebound had begun. So what flipped the switch? A lot of eyes point to one answer: Caitlin Clark. On December 31st, she appeared on the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelce. The conversation covered everything, but one moment stood out. When asked about her signature shoe, Clark said she's extremely picky. She talked about loving Kobe models, shoes built for feel, balance, and performance. Then she dropped the line that shook the sneaker world. Whatever went into her shoe had to match that level or beat it. New technology. Tech never used before, built specifically for her.
Nike has worked with Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and now they're building something new from the ground up for Caitlin Clark. That alone tells you how serious this is. This isn't a colorway. This isn't a rebrand. This is innovation. The rollout has already started. A Christmas commercial, the From Anywhere tagline, a full marketing push. The shoe is coming in 2026, and it's not just hype. Two of the sharpest CEOs in the world are betting personal money on it. That's calculation. Now imagine what happens when she actually steps back on the court. We already got a preview in May of 2025. After 6 months away, Clark suited up for a preseason exhibition against the Brazilian national team. A meaningless tune-up game, the kind of event that usually pulls a few hundred fans. Instead, Carver Hawkeye Arena sold out in minutes. ESPN broadcast it. 1.3 million people tuned in. The WNBA Finals averaged about 1.5 million viewers. Let that sit. And this is the part people keep missing. This isn't just about one season, one shoe, or one return from injury. This is about momentum that doesn't shut off when the clock hits zero. Caitlin Clark has already changed the trajectory of women's basketball, and the next phase hasn't even started yet. When she steps back on the floor, it won't just be another game on the schedule. It'll be an event. The cameras will already be rolling. The arenas will already be full. The numbers will already be waiting. Because at this point, the market has spoken, and it keeps getting louder. So the question isn't whether the Caitlin Clark effect is real. The question is how big it's about to get, and whether the rest of the sports world is ready to keep up. If you want to stay ahead of these moments before they become headlines, before they turn into trends, and before everyone suddenly acts like they saw it coming, you already know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and stay locked in right here. Because the next shift is already happening, and you don't want to be late this time. We'll see you in the next one.